Governor ODODO 1 year in office. How far so far? Guys?
Well, I would say Governor USMAN ODODO has achieved some great milestones within 1 year in office. However, we cannot conclude or rate him generally because it's just 1 lap out of 4 laps. But I would still say there are a lot of good points so far, and he has shown promises in some sectors of the economy.
In many sectors?
In some sectors.
Okay.
My words are weighted, so I would say in some sectors of the economy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So for us, and what we have discovered in this government is that it's the most open government so far, because for good governance, for you to have good governance, you have to have participatory government. So, and that's one of the things I think this administration have decided to do from the get-go. Because look at the budget, you look at other engagement, they allow the citizens to contribute to a larger extent. They look at it and try to incorporate ideas. The 32-year KOGI State 32-year development plan is very robust. So we've studied it, and we're looking at the direction of the government. And that's why all eyes are on the administration. And with this openness to transparency and all that, I think the government will have achieved a lot by even allowing the citizens to be part of the decision-making process. So I'll give an example with the budget of 2025. From when the budget circular came out, the engagement started from ministries. Citizens were able to see what is happening, to follow up till the public hearing. So I think that based on that, I score the government high for just 1 year adopting this method. We wait to see more achievement, because this is a good start for me. A good start.
I think one of the obvious things that everybody can attest to since the coming of this administration is the fact that, unlike what everybody used to know, everybody knows KOGI rather as a civil service state, the way they put it. And currently, both civil servants and public servants do not have any cause to want to complain when it comes to the payment of their monthly salaries. I know this has been overflogged. Some people will tell you payment of salaries is not an achievement, it's not that. But unlike the hue and cry we used to have of the past, it is no longer like that. KOGI seems to be creating records positively across the country. This is the only government that has been paying salary even within the first 2 weeks of the month. Before the month ends, the first 2 weeks, the salaries have been paid in this state under this administration on the 12th or 13th.
Thereabout.
Salaries have consistently been paid before end of every month. And so that in itself, as far as I am concerned, the fact that all the complaints that we used to have before are no longer there, it is a plus to the administration. And whether people see it as an achievement or not, it's immaterial to me. I see it as an achievement. And then we seem to be breaking boundaries in terms of the management of the state resources. For instance, away from the business of civil service in Kogi State, I am seeing some of the government officials, some of them in many countries of the world, they say it is, to get foreign investors. I am sure if their plans materialize, it is going to bring those investors into the state, because we have all the necessary resources that need to be, exploited for the good of the state.
Yeah.
But I have a little bit of concern with that, because I feel that before we so rigorously pursue foreign investors, I feel we should work on our local investors. Thank God we have Dangote of yesteryears in the States with the Dangote cement. We have Mangal that has invested in another cement factory in the state. But we also have other local investors that we can convince to come into the state and invest. Like we have a son of the soil. What's his name now? Our own former governorship aspirant, Isa Kutepa. Okay. Somebody who is an industrialist with a major stake in the country's oil sector and other sectors of Nigeria's economy. He's a son of the soil. If we can convince such person to come and take up a particular sector in the state, come and invest, it is going to go a long way to also encourage other local investors to come in. Things like that we can do. But I feel under 1 year, it is.
I think for both.
It is kudos.
Yabagi.
Yes.
Oh, it has been smiling.
Yes,
I don't know why, whether she's smiling, whether she's agreeing with what you are saying, or you are just simply amusing her.
You know Oiza.
Okay.
When she smiles at your view, it means
You are saying
there is always a sinisterness to her smile, to whatever you are saying. So
no, he's been saying a lot of things that I have in mind, and that's why I'm smiling. The Governor ODODO's 1 year in office, we can only say kudos to him. He has tried. He has tried. If you look at what he has done so far, I'll say it's a good start. We'll still have 3 years to go, but for a start, he has really tried. You talked about people saying that payment of salary is not really an achievement. I would say it's an achievement because when salaries were not being paid, they made an issue out of it. It was everywhere. In fact, on other platforms that are not KOGI state platform, you want to talk, get out, government no they pay. You understand? They will say things to you as if your state is not functioning. You don't have the right to talk. So if you are using that as a yardstick, you're using salary as a yardstick to how I want to contribute to national issues. And now I have a governor that is paying even before the month end, and you want us not to talk about it because you think people work for it, and when they have been paid, we should not make noise about it. People were not being paid, you talked about it. Now that they are being paid as a rent due, I think we should commend him, even though it is their right to be paid, but we should commend him. He can choose not to pay and nobody will take him to court, or will still continue making the same noise we've been making. Then in the health sector, recently when he talked about the health
primary health
primary health care.
even before the primary health care, for civil servant, he talked about what do you call it? HMOs. What do you call it?
Health insurance.
Health insurance. He talked about health insurance for civil servants. And even pensioners, he was talking about some of them that are earning below 10,000 naira. That those earning below 10,000 naira is free. Then for others, they will work out some percentage that they will pay. It's a relief to these people. And when people place health at the forefront, it helps the citizens. That means that his administrations is a people conscious administration. Then when you go to security, when the first time he donated 105 vehicles and I think about 45 motorcycles to vigilantes to help with security, I was wowed. I was like, okay, this is a lot. It's a lot. It's considering what we've had in the past. I know the past administration tried, but it's like a step further.
A consolidation.
Yes, he consolidated on that. And considering the positioning of Kogi State, I think we share border with at least 11
states, including FCT.
That is 11. And we have a governor that is consciously working to ensure the safety of lives and properties of his citizens. You can only, within the first year of his administration, we can only say that, in my place, they said, song will go sweet. Now from the rehearsal, you go know. This rehearsal is really, really loud, and we can only commend him. Then when you go to education, he declared free
WAEC and JAM.
And JAM for...
No, it consolidated on the policy inherited.
Okay, consolidation.
Yeah.
And bursary also for students.
Yeah. It's a relief to parents. I think I know a few people that pull their kids from private schools so that they can benefit from the WAEC free WAEC fee. Then we also have a lot of things. The road networks too.
Yeah.
Before now, you can't even drive. Me, I don't even drive to Zango area at night. But now, you can move.
Yeah.
In fact, when you're driving, you can't drive without praying for him. These are then a lot of things. We can go on and on
You see,
about what he has done so far.
We can actually go on, and that is the beauty of consolidation. We have a Governor ODODO who is, I'm not sure I'm wrong, is the first governor in the history of the state that has assumed office from a predecessor under whom he served.
Okay, he was part of the system.
Yes, he was part of the system.
Right?
He is the first in the history of Kogi State. All of them have, in the past, have always been imported.
We only have one, not all.
Yes.
Just only one case study.
Somebody.
Yes, only one.
People within will be clamoring for, and in the end, you will just hear maybe lights switched off during the primaries and another result surface when the lights come on.
I'll get our
yes, something like that. So that's what we've been suffering, and it's why I had to bring in this instance.
What you've been experiencing?
Why I have to bring in this instance is the example you brought about the barracks. Zango to Zariagi Junction Road. The reason is because this is something that has been on the pipeline under the previous administration. It was on the pipeline. But when the governor took over, it was as if there was no change of government. Where in the past, you'll be seeing, okay, a project that has commenced under a previous administration will just stop because a new government is in power. But
this one,
everything is
seamless continuation of
even the Zone 8 junction to Assembly.
To Crusher now.
To Crusher, yes.
Yeah.
That one too has been completed, which is kudos to the current administration.
Well, I will agree with you on issue of consolidation and continuity, but let me correct you slightly on this main road. This welcome to Lokoja to Natako Junction Road. That's the major road in Lokoja, right?
True.
Yeah. All that ones are not as important or as long as this road.
Yeah.
Let me note here that all elected governors of Kogi State at one point or the other within their reign spent money on that road. I don't know why. So the completion done by the incumbent governor seems to just complete the circle. Prince Abaka Audu constructed the road. Alhaji Ibrahim Idris came to analyze the road. Captain Idris Chalawada came, got bond money to fix the road. Didn't complete. Alhaji Ayadoza Bello took the road to an appreciable level before he left, and now Governor Ahmad USMAN ODODO is spending money on it. I just hope that this road that keeps sucking money from all elected governors will not continue even after the incumbent governor. However, to support the notion of continuity and consolidation and the advantages therein, I think what we're experiencing under the incumbent administration can be likened to what happened in Lagos State in 2007, when the then governor Bola Ahmed Tinubu handed over to his successor, who was his chief of staff. While agreeing with your submission on the issue of continuity and consolidation in government, I think we have seen case studies that work fine before in Nigeria, and I think what is playing out in Kogi can be likened to what happened in Lagos in 2007, when the then governor Bola Ahmed Tinubu handed over to Governor Babatunde Fashola. Fashola got accolade for some initiatives and even projects that he completed, but actually were initiated by his predecessor in office. And I see the same thing happening and playing out in Kogi, that Governor Ahmad Usman Ododo's predecessor in office initiated certain policies and projects that he naturally inherited and naturally will get applauded for. You understand? Yeah, and talking about salaries, on a lighter note, he's not owing civil servants, right? He has paid as at when due and he paid in full. But from my interaction with quite a number of civil servants, I think they were actually hoping and praying earnestly that he will pay 13th month last year in December. and on behalf of the peace-loving and Governor Dodo loving civil servants of Kogi State, I want to say it's not too late. It can come in other form and under different nomenclature. It might not be 13th month. Maybe hardship allowance.
Maybe a bonus.
Bonus. Hardship allowance or something to cushion the effect, and let them just enjoy him the more on the short salaries. While I also want him to look more into issues of gratuity.
No, please, before we go to gratuity, when we talk about salary, we have also heard people talk about the fact that if we keep talking about the governor paying salary, we should also talk about those that are not working. Are there, because yes, we have the larger percentage of people that are not working. Now, if you're going to say the government is paying salary, is paying pension, we should also talk about those that, what step is the governor taking to ensure that those that are not salary earners are also benefiting. Are also benefiting from his goodwill, because if you have the interests of your people at heart, he obviously has the interests of civil servants at heart. That there should be projects, programs that captures these wants. You understand? And then you have mentioned bringing investors. When you bring investors and they invest, they employ more people at the private level, not even government now, but it's a way of them gaining employment and benefiting from the government. Then we also have business women. We have businessmen and women.
Thank you. All right.
Go ahead. We have businessmen and women that there should be what do you call it?
Some intervention.
Incentive to
assist
help
businesses.
To help businesses.
I think governments generally at all levels in Nigeria, not only in KOGI and not this administration alone, they've always had programs wherein they offer incentives here and there. And anytime you begin to see a state governor, the president talking about massive investment in agriculture, it caters for these same people who are outside the civil service net.
If it gets to them.
It has always...
That is if it gets to them.
It gets to them. There are a lot of issues to be considered. One, maybe it's not enough, right? Two, are the beneficiaries really interested in doing what they claim they would do? We are all Nigerians. We know ourselves. Agric used to come in under every administration in KOGI State. In most cases, not enough. At the same time, I can tell you that quite a number of the beneficiaries are not farmers.
That's why I said if it gets to them. Because I know that when it comes to agriculture, they've given this administration, they've given them
different tools apart from loans.
Last time I think they refurbished the contract.
Over 100
the tractors. And for them, and they also provided farmland. They provided seedlings, and this woman, this lady is yes, I think this lady.
Lady Jato.
Yes, I think they've also given out
a lot of tools. Actually, when it comes to agriculture, it's one of the areas I want to talk about. There's no way you will talk about the account of stewardship of Governor USMAN without talking about his investment in agriculture and his commitment to food security. Aside recovering
our tractors
from
those that were,
he refurbished, saving the state several billions of naira. They deployed it to farmers, asked them to form clusters, and they have been supporting them.
And they also developed a way to track those tractors.
And they are looking more at. The government is planning towards establishing a free trade zone in Ajakuta. Talking about cargo airport and partnering with RAMP for, I think they've already flagged off 65 kilometers of rural roads to ensure that farmers can.
Different parts of the state.
Okay.
But it's 5 kilometers, the initial 5 kilometers is across the state actually. And there are feeder roads so that farmers can transport their farm produce to markets.
Without the middlemen?
Not really.
Middlemen are part of the society now. I don't know part of the people who are not supposed about that are money for.
Yes, probably No, we also talked about the fact that when last time we talked about cost of items, we said the road helped farmers to move their items directly to the market so that it will minimize. It's not as if it can totally eradicate middlemen, but to minimize it and help them to move it in good time to prevent food spoilage. We talked about that. I think that is what the road has done.
There's something
I think apart from agriculture, the idea.
No, not really about just agriculture.
The idea you spoke of about capturing even non-civil servants.
Yeah.
I know this administration is already on it.
Okay.
In fact, immediately this administration came on stream, I know that the KOGI State Social Investment Program is still capturing the citizens of the state across the over 300 wards in the state. It's capturing them through a dedicated website where people register to be captured by the State Social Investment Program. And I think the first and the second batch of beneficiaries have already been presented with their amount. I think some persons are getting 100,000, some persons are getting 50,000.
Okay.
So I know that is already on. And then currently, the Nigerian Korean Friendship Institute is training youth from across the state in a project they call the ODODO Youth Empowerment Program, where youths that were captured in the program are being trained in many vocations, photography, creation of things. They are doing all of that training currently at
vocational skills.
Yes, Nigerian Korean Friendship.
So they have a lot of programs for youth.
No, I'm saying no. This one is the initiative of the Kogi State government.
I know.
It is being sponsored. You know, it is an institute.
Yes.
And their students they are captured by the what's the name of this organization now that is responsible for polytechnics?
Okay, MBT.
MBTA. Of course, the Nigerian Korean Friendship Institute is captured by MBTE,
yes.
and they have been accredited. Their programs have been accredited. So these youths being trained would graduate as maybe national diploma holders in whichever vocation they train in. So the state government is doing that.
But there's something the state is doing that even enhance this process, because like for last year, let me even speak for the one I even participated. The youth organizations in Kogi State last year, through the Ministry of Youth and Sport Development, the state government decided to know what they are doing. For instance, when we had that one-day stakeholder meeting with them, it's more like a training, and you now begin to discover that there are different youth organizations in the state. This one, I don't know what the other one is doing. There's no database in the state that collate what they do in the year. So if I come, for instance, and say how many tailors were trained in Kogi State, there's no record. So what the administration decided to do is to harmonize this information. I want to know what you are doing. In fact, a lot of people don't even know what the Ministry of Youth and Sports role is. You understand? So when there was this interaction, they were amazed. And I think by now the database has been created and the coordination team have been put in place. The same was even done with stakeholders that do something, that have intervention around youth sector. They also had a meeting to harmonize. Okay, for instance, HAPADEC is doing a lot of training. Who is taking the data? How many youths were trained within 2003 to 2004? You understand? So there's a shift. And that means is that for agriculture, for instance, all the associations, we need to know who they are. Are they genuine farmers? And so you have to enhance that register. You have to know the people you are working with, so that when there's farm implement coming and you want to give people, it gets to the right people.
The right people.
So this
Organization.
yes. So what it does now, you have intervention going on, but you're also working to enhance registers that identify beneficiaries, real beneficiaries. So as it's a significant shift for us in the civil society space, because this is one of the things we want to see, a clean register where if you point at an association, you know that you're working with the right people. So the state did that last year, and we're expecting the state to also continue this year across other sectors, and also we will revisit the ones that have been done, so that at the end of the day we'll not just have interventions going and you don't have a proper record. What I mean record is that if you look at it, say it's 10, we know that it's 10 quality intervention, not just 1,000 and it's just going to the air. You understand?
Now we've talked about I think there's something we've not talked about: housing. We've not talked about housing. And
has the governor done anything on housing in the last 1 year?
I
think there's the proposed 1,000.
There's the proposed 1,000 housing units in the state.
By the state government?
By the state government, yes.
By the state government?
By the state government, yes.
Okay.
But I am not sure it has fully commenced, but the state has actually put that on the pipeline. In fact, it is in public domain that the state government wants to do that.
Is it in partnership with the federal government?
National.
Yes, it's
no. Apart from national, KOGI state government. KOGI state government.
Housing,
apart from national, apart from the what is the name of the federal government housing estate now?
What do you call it?
There's something it is called. It is centered around the main theme of this administration, this current federal government administration. Renewed Hope.
Renewed Hope Housing Estate.
Yes, Renewed Hope Housing Estate.
Okay.
So
so aside from that Renewed Hope,
apart from that one,
estate,
that of
1,000 units.
Yes, that of the state government.
Is 1,000 units.
That of the state government is already on the pipeline. But when it will commence, we are hoping that maybe first thing within the first quarter of this year, they should the flag up and maybe commencement should start, because housing is one of the needs of the people of the state, and it is an area some people want to give a stick to the immediate past administration, that in 8 years there was no housing estate, something like that. But this current administration wants to do something like that. It's already on the pipeline.
And you know why housing is very important? The fact that we have an inflow in the state presently,
yes.
And the houses we have are not just sufficient to meet the needs of residents of the state. Yes. So if you say that people are saying in the last 8 years they were not the last administration did not really capture that area, it's not out of place, because there is a need for government to intervene in housing in the state.
Of course, it is something we all agree.
Capital.
Adding to what you said, talking about inflow into the state, there are a lot of developments. Because I recall that some years ago we had glut in the same sector. But
5-6 years ago.
At the moment, we're talking about serious housing deficits, especially in the state capital. All right, and some other cities across the state. With this inflow of people, we also have resurgence in cases of insecurity. So now in the last 1 year, how will you rate the government of Alhaji Ahmad Usman Ododo?
When it comes to
Let me ask. Yamagi is assistant governor for today. So,
in terms of, he said, when it comes to
in terms of what?
Insecurity, security generally.
Security generally. Okay.
I think I'm happy with the way, even though it's in passing that Oiza touched on the issue of security and the effort of the current administration.
You ever like that name, Oiza?
Yes, I love the name Oiza. Oiza means beauty.
Ah, yeah.
Hey,
so I love the name. The effort of this government is clear to anybody that is within the state. Anybody within the state can see the effort, because for the first time, we're having a rapid response unit of the police in the state capital with their numbers made public in case you have an emergency within the state capital. It is happening for the first time. And then the vigilante, with all the infrastructure, with all the equipments that were purchased for the vigilante, for the first time, to boost their morale, the governor has decided that they should be on minimum wage like others.
That's
like
vigilante and local hunters,
yes,
right? And
local hunters. They should be there as, people that were recruited by the government into the state. It's an initiative of former governor Yahya Bello, which the current governor is consolidating. So it is a good one. Of course, we have seen some pockets of insecurity wearing its ugly head, but given the centrality of Kogi State and its location, it is expected that some of those things should happen. But what I'm happy with is the fact that the governor is not resting. He is responding to every security challenge that is coming up around. Kidnapping has become an everyday thing in other parts of the country, but thank God we're not having it that bad here in the state, and it is kudos to the state governor, and I am sure that other like forward army forward base that the governor is building in strategic locations. For instance, in Omala. In Omala, where there has been a lot of intercommunal clashes. Like issue of Bagana that you said. Bagana is a border town between Kogi and Benue State, Kogi and Nasarawa State. It's bordering, only one community is bordering two states and is facing challenges from criminal elements from those states who sometimes come in, strike, and fall back to their communities.
The government paid them a visit.
Yes.
Paid them a visit the first time.
Yeah.
And he saw the
situation
and said it.
He made some steps. Went for a visit again recently. I think about in December, right? Twice he has visited us. And when he went, he saw the progress in that area, and he was pleased. We have a governor that is consciously looking at the security of his state. We see him taking active steps to see how he can end the insecurity in the state. We've seen how he has injected so much into the security of the state, and we can only hope that few years from now, we crime is not what you can totally wipe.
Yeah.
But we hope that few years from now he will bring it to the barest minimum.
Before we call it a day on the issue of security, I think there is need for us to also give some kudos to the current chairman, the local government chairman. For example, I can talk about the Lokoja local government chairman, who just a week or two ago actually invited people from a community just close to Obajana, where there was an issue of insecurity brewing. He had to call the attention of the governor and for the governor to call for a meeting in order to quell it. And when the issue of theft became rampant in Kogi State Polytechnic and Federal University, Lokoja, he was also very active and made sure that the situation was nipped in the bud and in a timely fashion.
It's a good thing the chairmen are doing a fantastic job. We said it last time that if the chairmen are doing their own job, it will minimize the work of the governor.
Yeah.
Now, we've been talking about achievements of the governor, and there are also areas we feel that he should look into. We talked about pension, the fact that he said if you're earning 50,000 naira below, you have free healthcare.
10,000 and below.
No, 50,000 naira below.
Okay.
You have free healthcare. Whatever coverage.
Insurance.
Then he added 10,000 naira to across board to their pension. But gratuity is a major
Issue.
in Kogi State. You see people that retired as far back as 6-7 years. They maybe when their name is on the roster, you see 500,000, you see 100,000, you see 200,000, and it's like it's something they can just use to eat. It's not something they can use to do anything. And we also have pensioners that will tell you that they've not received anything in a very long period they've not received anything. Not pension. We're talking about gratuity. Yes, we're talking about gratuity now. If the governor can please shift his attention to that side. If you've worked for years and you retire, there should be a modality where they are paid, even if it is not at once. Maybe if they're going to share it, it should be in such a way that they can use it for something, not
Something substantial.
Something substantial, not 100,000 naira, 200,000. And you see, some people will never ever receive till they die. So that's that. Then water is a major issue in Lokoja.
Yeah.
For the past 9 years, the best of my knowledge, for the past 9 years, water has been a very, very serious issue in Lokoja. We see individuals trying to drill borehole and extend some to outsiders, but how far can that take them? I know how I use water. I know how I use water at home. And if you have to fetch, you have to now start managing. But we need help when it comes to water in the States. We need help. We can't overstate it. We need help. Actually, then when it comes to recreational space, we don't have it. I don't know the ministry that will help us.
For children,
tourism. Yes, especially for children. It's like we were saying it last time that our children are
left out.
Yes, they are left out.
Children are left out of almost
Ministry
everything.
of Women Affairs, tourism. They should find a way to help. Any I don't know.
Yes, the state used to have an amusement park, but without apology to those who managed the place in the past. They mismanaged it and they made a mockery of what an amusement park
Should be.
The Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo, should appoint people that know what it means to have an amusement park, for our children to have a place where they can go. They do not have to travel out of Lokoja or out of the state
to go and have fun.
to have fun, or to know what it means to be on break, or to know to have a space to play, have fun.
Yeah,
Please,
children outside can also
something
come
needs to be done.
Lokoja.
Yes. Children can come. In fact,
Yes,
a lot of people who bring their children during festive period for break. It is one of the things they complain about.
They don't have anywhere to go. No,
there's no place to go.
Where will you take them to?
Please, something needs to be done about that.
Agreed.
We have to send you to governor.
Especially.
Just have to round up now.
Especially.
Proudly, I'll be there.
We pray God we strengthen our governor to do more.
Amen.
1, 2.